Hi everyone, and welcome. We had almost... He's trying real hard, is JJ. He's trying to disrupt the starts of these episodes. Throw me once more. It's not difficult. He doesn't have to do it this way. Anyway, welcome back, everybody, to Random Encounter. We are on episode number 53 of the Abomination Vaults. Book 1, still. Just. And we'll see how long it takes them to get to the end of it, because there's not a huge amount left of the first book. We're getting right up to that wire. We're not going to do much of an intro stuff this time. Next episode, my brain is still churning, trying to think of some stuff to do for an intro and discussion with these guys. I think I've got an idea, but we'll see. But we're going to get into this because they have found a particularly large chamber, one which has a number of rather perturbing creatures that were fairly simple for these guys to fight. It was just numbers was the problem rather than anything else. There were quite a lot of them. So yeah, we're not gonna dawdle too long on chatting at the start. Just a quick reminder though, we do use Foundry. We do use sound from Sirenscape because of the way that the piezo modules work. It's all integrated, it's all built in, and we use OBS to record, and I'm sure people kind of get the idea that we use Discord now to do these people's faces, although I will say this, Invaa, you are very low down. Cass, you might want to just tilt you, there we go. Perfect. So yeah, we're all set up. We're all ready to go. I'm just going to make sure that the things are moving up and down like they should be. Yes, they are. Good. We will. Yeah, no, don't look at me like I've just said something. I haven't. This is your minds. You're at it again.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, no, you. Fair.
Again implies we
Fairly
stopped
innocent.
at some point.
Still, definitely still.
Oh dear. Anyway, so we will get ourselves back into this. I'm going to start running a bit of music with any hope that'll start coming through. And when I switch you guys over to the game screen, everybody should be able to hear it, he says, looking at the screen and seeing that the ambient volume stuff isn't moving up and down. Of course it isn't. Why would it be doing that? Right, we'll very quickly dive into this, and we'll dive into that, and we'll go, there we go, I've got some sound, I can see it now. Okay, better. Right. Okay. You all find yourself after a brief fight in a large chamber. I believe I had this description before, but we'll do it again. This vast octagonal chamber is mostly empty. The walls are carved and painted to resemble a sprawling graveyard half sunken into a swampy morass. Yet all the graves in the mural are open and empty. Carved images of shrieking ghosts parade upwards into the hungry pupil of a malevolent eye at the apex of this room, 30 foot above. A circular 15-foot diameter platform sits in the middle of the room. This raised 3 foot off the ground of the surrounding floor. The platform supports an altar stone made of an irregular slab of rock, marked by 7 deep indentations, almost as if a huge 7-fingered hand had gripped the stone with enough force to leave grooves behind. Now, I did say at the time, now and then a faint blue light flickers and pulses inside one of these indentations, but after having dealt with these creatures in here, you do still see a blue faint light, but it's much more irregular. It's not as often. It's almost like it's slowed down somewhat. And at the time when you stepped into the room, small objects laid heaped upon the altar. Those you identified as being hands. In fact, the 4 hands that got up and started trying to throttle some of you. That is the room you are in. Now, I will say this. Some of the people that have stepped into the room managed to make repeated saves to not become frightened in the room. 2 of you decided you weren't stepping inside the room and so weren't affected. That feeling has not gone away. And if I were particularly mean, every round you would have to make saves apart from Moz, who critically succeeded at the check. I'm not going to say we're going to constantly do saves unless a fight breaks out in here, for whatever reason. Then we might start doing it again. But those of you that step into the room, apart from Moz, feel this constant aura of despair and depression in the room.
I don't want to step into the room because I had a vision of me kneeling there and being taken off to do some other ritual thing by Belcora.
Yes, you did.
So I don't really want to go in at all, and I don't really want to tell people why I don't want to go in.
Neffy just pushes Invaa in the room.
Opposed strength check?
Or is it a dex versus strength?
I mean, if we were going by the rules, it would be an athletics check against Invaa's fortitude DC, I believe, for a push.
Stepmom's. Stepmom is having difficulty going through the door. Nothing will help, Stepmom.
If you honestly want to try and push, make a roll.
No, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. She is like, are you going to go in? Mum, mummy.
So, one thing you... Things of note, there is a door directly opposite where you've come in. There is a corridor that is quite wide. It's a 15-foot wide corridor heading to the south. From where you guys are, and Moz with his dark vision, you can see a collapsed wall to the south, which you believe marks the entrance of one of those twisting caverns that you saw coming off the chamber with the pavilion. And that would make sense. It does look roughly like that. It would have to dip down at some point, but it certainly would match up. You also see a number of alcoves in the wall as this corridor progresses south, and each alcove appears to have a casket in it. Entirely different things, casks and caskets.
Whilst there are shenanigans afoot in the original entranceway, Moz is going to have a look around and see if the graveyard is familiar. As in, is it one local to Atari? Is it like a stylized version?
I see what you're saying. Not that you can tell. It looks more abstract in terms of it's not really a location, it's just the meaning of rather than a place.
And just from this angle of where he is at the moment, having a look at then down the corridor, how close would you have to start to get to see if there's any details or ornamentation or like nameplates on those caskets?
From where you are with your dark vision, so these are stone sarcophagi, and you can tell that the sarcophagi themselves are actually carved with individual figures carved on the front of them. Each one is slightly different. Well, not even slightly different. Some of them are quite considerably different. Each one of these figures, though, is emaciated and appears to be effectively under some sort of pain or agony or torment.
They're more almost akin to like reliquary type
Yes.
funeral mask or death mask kind of figures. Then.
Yes, but whatever individual was inside them, if they looked anything like this, were not in the best of health when they were put inside.
And last question before I stop monopolising the GM. With undead lore, is there anything that sparks off of Moz's brain going, yeah, we torture people now, we put them in a casket and we torture them some more and we close the lid and they're going to go pop and come out when they're baked or when someone walks past?
So, there is nothing specific to like certain types of undead that you would create that way, okay? That said, the concept of having an undead creature hiding inside a sarcophagi in order to burst out and protect a location or something similar like that is certainly quite common.
Good-o. Well, that's a bit morbidly creepifying. Come on, what are we doing?
But they didn't burst out to protect just now, did they? Sorry, Faye.
True.
Oh, you're the one with the weird I know undead sense. Do you want to come over here and have a contemplation on the nature of the universe?
Especially.
Can I rephrase that? How about you bring your beautiful self over here and have a cast a gaze down here and have a look at these things and see if they're going to kind of creepify us. Stuff.
Can I detect anything using the spirit sense ability?
From where you are,
No.
just measure that distance so I am acutely aware of how far it should be.
But I think it should be in those two alcoves. Should be in.
No, so those are pillars rather than alcoves. The alcoves are in the corridor to the south.
Oh, yeah, no, there's probably sorry.
So the only spiritual thing you can detect at the moment is that stonking great altar in the middle of the room, which is still powered in some way.
Well, while you're pondering, I'm going to drop a heal animal on
Yeah.
this badger in the... Does that scale at all?
I believe, let me just check your spells. Let me heal animal. It does. It heightens every single level, and because it's a focus spell, it will automatically heighten. You don't have to learn it at each level. Each level of spell that you can cast, so you're up to 2nd level now, the amount of healing done is increased by 1d8. So effectively, it will be 2d8 healing.
Okay. And that's plus an 8 for every level because I may as well cast it at 2 actions. Yes, it does. So that's 2d8 plus 16, which becomes 31 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
No, I'm just gonna stand there. And Imper is probably pulling many of the same faces that I am, if I'm honest.
Shall I have a look at this door the other side?
Okay. Moz,
Yep.
as you step to within 10 foot of the first box,
Yep.
you notice
Nothing happens.
Unfortunately, not quite. The two sarcophagus fronts on either side of the corridor drop and smash to the ground as two creatures step out. He says,
Spooky dooky, let's get spooky.
from the boxes. I'm afraid to say it is time already to roll for initiative on this one. We'll pause this so that we can do this off camera and we can get it all sorted. We'll be back in a second. Right, let's just unpause that. Let's do a little bit quick swap to a little bit of different music. You've all heard this one before. Okay. Let's get that music in, shall we? Okay. Let's start with Neffy.
28.
28. Oh, jeez. Okay, fine. Phelan.
I rolled a 1, so 14.
Oh, all right. Okay. Just giving me a little bit of a help there, because just Moss.
I have rolled an 8 plus 10 for 18.
18. Okay, and Invaa.
7 on the dice. 7 plus 1.
15. Okay. Not quite as bad for me as I thought it was going to be, but still does mean that Neffy, you are first.
Yeah. I have to enter the room, don't I?
You would, yes. And there's a thing I said about entering the room, if you remember.
I need to roll something, don't I?
It would be a will saving throw.
Okay. Nope.
What did you roll?
A 1.
A 1, you say? Oh.
Yeah, I'm going the other way down the corridor, aren't I?
No, you're not, but you are frightened too.
Okay. What does that mean?
You'll have -2 to pretty much everything. Dice rolls, armor class, the whole lot.
So can I still move though? I can actually
Oh
enter
yeah,
the
you
room.
can enter the room and everything else. That's perfectly fine.
10, 15. What did you do, Moz? I'm gonna shoot, and it's flat-footed, so because it hasn't acted.
That's very true. Yes.
I have found the
So
enemy.
that means I'm rolling advantage. I can't remember.
You roll to attack as normal. It is flat-footed, so it has a penalty to its armor class.
I get my sneak damage if I
Correct.
succeed.
Yes.
See, I kind of know the rules. Okay, so that's a 22.
22 is a hit, not a critical, but that is fine. So, we have done a whole bunch of upgrading of your weapons, if you remember. So, you now have a striking hand crossbow. Based on that, it will, instead of it's doing 1d6, it does 2d6 damage. And a d6 sneak attack damage.
So it's 3d6 as well.
It is indeed, yep.
I have another d6 on there. None of those are d6s. Kim! I like rolling all three at the same time. Oh, sorry, I'll do it the other way. 11 damage.
11 damage. Which one are you doing? The one to the south of Moz or the one slightly over to the east of Moz?
The one nearest Moz.
The one nearest Moz.
Then I reload.
Okie dokie. That's all three of your actions. Moz,
Yep.
you are up next. You are immune to the fear effect that's going on in the room that you're stood in, so you don't have to roll.
This is good. And I do believe, I'm just going to double check on the measurements. Oh, because of the diagonal, he's at 15 feet. Okay.
No, that's not entirely true. That is not entirely true. Pathfinder 2nd Edition, to make things easier, while movement does indeed go 5 foot, 15 foot, 20 foot, 20, it goes 5, 10, 5, 10. For measuring distances to attack, you don't. So, a straight diagonal is still 10 foot for measuring for attack. They made it so it's basically just a square around you that gets bigger, rather than doing the funny corners thing.
That's really useful then in that case. It does not entirely change my approach, but it's good to know. I was just checking for threat radius. Mainly because for my first action, I would like to brace my helmet and go, well, that's not entirely surprising, is it? Yeah. And stab it forward into the face of the first one closest, so I'm directly to myself. That's 10 on the dice, plus 13, 23.
That is a hit.
Woohoo! And then it is a 10. D10 plus 4.
Well, it's not a D10,
No, it's
is
not.
it? It's not a D10.
No! That changed, didn't it? So it's 2d10.
It is indeed 2D10 plus
This time
4.
I'll roll my remaining dice in the dice box. If I don't throw the other ones on the floor as well. Okay. That is a disappointing total of 4 plus 4 for 8.
We'll give you the better weapon, mate, and what do you do with it? You sort of wave it in his face. There you go.
He throws forward and then, as a moment, just realises and goes, "That's not the pointy end." And brings the back up, which is the pointy end
Okay,
for his second attack.
second attack then.
That's a 15 plus 9 for 24.
That is a hit.
That's a 10 and a 2 plus 4 for 16.
Okay, 16 more damage. You look like you've taken a reasonable amount out of this creature, but it's still standing.
That's okay, because rather than take a third strike, he's going to have a pause and go, And I'd like to identify these guys,
Okay.
or have a think about if I know them.
So you have undead lore, don't you?
I do.
Can you tell me what your undead lore is, please? What the...
Like, as soon as I find the button. It is... that's Die Hard. No, it's not that. Where is it? Where is it is plus 8.
Okay. You're not sure? They kind of look like zombies. They're a little bit skeletal. They've got weapons. There's a lot of undead like that. You just can't quite put your finger on which one of the many undead that look kind of like this it might be. Okay. At that point, it is one of these creatures' turns. It's not the one you've been hitting, oddly enough. It's the other one. It is going to go first. The other one got a natural 1. The one in that side is going to start under its quite low down, and as you can see its mouth opening, you see, well, I'll show you the picture of these things, shall I? Seems like a reasonable thing to do. As it begins to speak, you can see that red sort of necromantic glow start to come out from its eyes and its mouth as it starts this sort of guttural chanting in this deep sort of voice. You can't actually tell any of what it's saying. It's in a language you definitely don't understand. Invaa might. Depends if you know Necril or not. Well, it's a dirge. In fact, it's a funeral dirge that it begins to chant. All living creatures within 50 foot, that would be all of you, must make a will saving throw.
Oh.
Can I have will saving throws from all of you, please?
Not on first shot.
28 for Phelan.
28 for Phelan. That's a good start. You are...
And 26 for Ulrin.
26 for Ulrin. Okay. That just means that Ulrin and Phelan are frightened 1.
24.
Okay. Neffy is already frightened 2, so it doesn't make it a blind bit of difference. 20 means you failed. That's frightened 2.
18 for me.
That means you're frightened
as well.
2 as well, yep. Okay. Now, just for a little bit of extra amusement, the room that you are in, the one that's giving you this whole problem with frightened condition and everything else and was handing them out. Now that I've actually finally affected some of you with it, I'll let you know the second part of that room's problem. If you are in that room, you cannot reduce your frightened condition at all. That oppressive feeling that's in that room maintains that frightened condition that you have currently got. It will not drop by 1 each round like it normally would. Invaa at the moment could shake this off, but nobody else can. You are in the room and you are affected by it.
That just means I have to attack.
But there is that. Okay. For its next action, or its last action to be fair, because that takes 2. So, risking an attack of opportunity, I am going to move behind Mosran. Moz, do you want to take that attack of opportunity?
If he's going to move around behind me, then yes.
Okay.
Do I have to take it on the initiating creature? Silly question.
Yes, you do. So you could hold off and wait to see what the other one of these creatures might do, and then hold to hope that you can attack that one.
Do I feel the weapons that they are wielding are big enough to threaten me at this distance? From where he's standing?
They are just long swords.
Okay. Because Pathfinder doesn't have directionality in tokens
No.
too much.
No, you can attack
We'll
in every
go with it.
direction. Okay, so you're going to leave it, or are you going to wait? Are you going to
I'm
wait?
going to hold.
You're going to hold. Okay, cool. Invaa, it is your turn. And I'm just going to make sure that people can see what the heck's going on. There we go. I wonder if I did that deliberately. Step in the room.
I'm gonna get my crossbow out.
Okay, 1 action to draw your crossbow.
And 2 actions to load it, I believe.
I believe so, because it's a heavy crossbow, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So you draw and load your crossbow. Fair enough then. Phelan, your turn.
Right. Well, they are both very naughty in mine eyes, I should snuff it. So, calling on the power of Ronnie James Dio, I am going to smack them both in electric arc.
Okay.
Push them together.
I believe they're close enough, just about.
From one target to another.
Targets need to
Yeah.
be... Yep, that's fine. Yep.
Okay, so basic reflex save, DC 19, please.
19. Okay, the one to the north of Mosran, reflex being a wonderful stat that they've got, will get a natural 20, I'm afraid, so he'll avoid it. Hey, at least that's not an attack roll. The one to the south will get a natural 4 for a total of 14, and so will take full damage.
Okay, he can have 12 electricity damage.
12 electricity damage it is. Okay. So that's 2 actions. You have 1 action remaining, I believe.
Action number 3 is to tell Olerin to go say hi to this one at the back.
Okie dokie.
And by say hi, I mean bite him.
Yep.
That's 19 to hit.
19 is going to be a miss, I'm afraid.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Right then. That means that last on this turn, I'll put it into the tracker now so that everybody can see it. Is the last one of these creatures. It's going to do the kind of obvious. It's going to step forwards. This gives you would normally give you your attack of opportunity, but I believe I can step, which will mean that you can't because I was within 5 foot. So it carefully steps towards you, making sure that you can't attack of opportunity it, and then it's going to swing at you with its longsword. A 12 on the dice with a plus 14. For a 26.
Beats me by 6.
Okie dokie. So, the first thing that happens is you are going to take 11 points of slashing damage. So if you happen to have any resistances to that.
Piercing or slashing?
Okay, so unfortunately, no, you're not going to remove that. It then appears to... you can see the blood from the strike start to seep down the blade, and it collects on it, and the blood is absorbed into the creature. It almost seems a little bit more with it. I need you to make a fortitude saving throw, please.
Okay. Technically one of my better options. That's a 9 plus 8, which would give me 17, which classically so far this game is not a good enough number for anything. So we're going to risk it for a biscuit, we're going to throw it in early, and we're going to go for that next 0 point, which is another 9 for 7.
That is a fail, sir. You become drained 1 as your very essence is pulled out of your body and put into this creature. So not only are you frightened, you are now drained as well. And just to add insult to injury, it's going to swing at you again.
Yep, sounds reasonable. No, wait, the other thing.
A 14 on the dice with a plus 9 at this point is going to be a 23.
By 3.
Although remember, because you're frightened and everything else, yeah, it's 20. That's bad. Okay. So we do the dice roll thing first. We do 9 more points of slashing damage to you. And I hate to say it, but you need to make another fortitude save, please. Just make sure I can do that more than once per turn. Yes, I can.
13 plus 8 for a total of 21.
Okay, you are okay. That does not affect you this time. But you have a feeling it can keep doing that. Oh, and it also does seem to be a little bit healthier again. It is Neffy's turn.
Okay, so... Can I try and identify these things?
Yeah, I mean, identifying is pretty much always an option. Let me just make sure you've got a skill that works for it. You do. This is going to be a difficult roll, but let's see what happens. Okay, you are relatively certain that these must be some form of demi-lich. You've got it absolutely
Okay.
in the back of your hand. This is a demi-lich of some description. You are 100% certain that now Mosran has been hit by this thing, it's going to 100% just keep on draining him. That's its focus now.
I just pressed the button and it all was giving me issues. Hang on.
As a small note, let me just check with your ability.
Don't forget I have dubious knowledge as well.
Yeah, I'm aware you have dubious knowledge. However, what I would state very, very nice and clearly to you, because unfortunately you also have another ability which is triggered if you successfully identify a creature. You're pretty certain you can't backstab this creature. Whatever's happened, for some reason, you don't know where its soft points are. You remember, if you successfully identify a creature, you make the creature flat-footed so that you can then sneak attack it. Well, I'm just letting you know, you failed really, really, really badly.
As when I roll in a minute, I'm not going to get sneaked.
Yes, correct.
God damn! Cool. I'm going to roll anyway.
Uh-huh.
That is... hang on. Can't do maths. 13 plus 8.
21.
Thank you.
That's a hit.
Did that hit?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm doing 2d6, not 3d6. Is that right?
You are indeed just doing your 2d6.
Okay. Ugh. 6.
6?
And then reload. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
And I was shooting that one. And then I reload.
You were shooting the top one, were you?
Yeah, the one that I was shooting originally. No, sorry.
No, that's the bottom one.
The bottom one was the one I was shooting
I got it
originally.
right the first time. And then
My
you
bad,
reload.
sorry.
Moz, it's your turn. You feel unstable and scared and a little bit unpleasant and uncomfortable about everything that's going on. In addition to the fact you've just seen your blood drained from your body, and quite literally, you feel quite drained. What do you want to do?
Joke's on you, Moz has always been slightly unstable.
Just a reminder, because you guys are frightened and have conditions, some of your attacks will be lower. So just remember that.
So, Moz, having seen how courteously these two delightful individuals dance, will reciprocate that dance and will take a step.
Okay, yep.
If the player can move the token.
Okay, yep,
And
there's a
Take
step.
yourself outside of the room.
Okay, yep, that's fine, yep.
Cool. And then we'll bring his halberd down and batter the ever-loving toffee apple out of this one.
Okay,
Hopefully.
okay.
Ooh, that's a 9 plus numbers.
11, I
A
believe
9
you're
plus
on.
11, so 20.
It is exactly a hit, sir.
Come on. 10 and 4 plus 4 for 18.
18, that is a heck of a lot of damage. It is still standing, but it is not looking good.
Having completely gone back for the two-handed overhead power whap, he's gonna shift his hands apart slightly and just go for the battering them into the room approach. And it doesn't particularly help him too much, but we're going to use a brutish shove as a strike. So functionally speaking, it's a normal attack first.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not going to do anything because that's a 6.
Yeah, that's going to miss. That is
Yep.
definitely going to miss. Okay, your action's done, but to make life slightly better for you, your frightened condition does drop by 1 because you are not in the room anymore. Okay, what do I want to do? Go after the guy that's not in a great condition.
He doesn't want to biff the badger, does he?
No,
You heard him,
he's
kid.
going to walk past the badger. So if the badger has attack of opportunity, this would be his chance. But I don't think he does. And then he's going to swing at Neffy. Don't you look shocked? You're in his tomb as far as he's concerned.
It's not much of a tomb with a view, as we said.
No, it's not. 4 on the dice, but I have got a plus 14, so that's 18. And at the moment, your armor class is 18 because of your frightened condition, so that is going to hit. You are going to take 12 points of damage from the slashing attack. This creature looks particularly healthy now as your blood starts to pull down the blade that it's carrying. And can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Probably not. Um, 17.
That is a fail. Now you
Was I-
do have a hero point if you want to.
Yeah. 23.
That's fine. There you go. You're no problems whatsoever. It's going to swing at you again. 7 on the dice with a plus 9. That is going to miss though. So that is all right for you. Okay, that is its 3 actions as it ran across the altar room to get to you and then swung at you twice. Invaa.
Mike.
Oh, it's great. To fire the crossbow since I'm holding it.
Yeah.
So does my friend condition go down at the beginning or the end of my turn?
End of your last turn, it should have gone down, so you should be without frightened now.
I thought I was frightened too.
Oh, you have. Yes, you're right, because you failed. That's right, you were frightened too, so you are only frightened 1 now. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to fire the arrow that's on the crossbow at it.
Yep.
16 on the dice plus 7.
That is a hit.
Excellent. 1d10. Piercing, if that makes a difference.
It does not.
For a natural 10, please.
Okay, 10 points of damage. It chews through whatever health that thing seemed to have gained from hitting Neffy.
And
And-
then I'm going to cast... Go on.
And then potentially a little bit more as well.
Good. I am going to cast Disrupt Undead as a cantrip.
Yes, we're going into that favoured slot. Okay, the disrupt undead. A basic fortitude save. Okie dokie. I am reasonably fortuitous, but with a 4 on the dice, I only get a 16, so I believe that's a fail.
Yes. For 12 points of damage, please.
12. Ouch. Okay. It did not like that. I will say that much. It did not like that. So you fired your crossbow. You have cast a 2-action spell. I believe that's the end of your turn.
Right.
And you are no longer frightened. Phelan.
Okay. I am going to once more throw the horns and hit them both with an electric arc.
Okay. So we are on a reflex save again. One at the north. That's a 12 for the guy that's closest to you. So that is definitely going to fail. And it's a 21 for the one next to Moz, which is going to mean he'll only take half damage.
Okay, so the full damage is going to be 8, and half damage is 4.
Okay. Again, the one near Moz is not quite dead, but boy, does it not look like it's whole. That red flicker is now like the tiniest blinking eye in the middle of its of each eyeball, and there's black voids around it. It would almost look cute if it weren't for the fact that it's on an undead creature.
Olrin, finish that one.
Fair.
Please, help.
Oh, natural 20. Mighty bomb.
Okay, that is a critical hit. They are still subject to critical hits, so by all means, please roll his damage dice and double it. Well, double all of it once you've added the strength.
34.
I beg your pardon.
34.
34 points of damage from the Badger. Probably more than anybody has done in this fight so far. That is the end of whatever that creature was.
That's what you get for voting for Brexit.
However,
Sorry.
however,
I thought we were a politics show.
as the creature falls down, I'm going to use the fact that it has a reaction called Final Spite. When the creature is reduced to 0 hit points, it can make a melee strike attack. It does not gain temporary hit points from this attack. And it's going to just try and swing at Moz.
Is this kind of manipulate type of action that he can just go, no,
No,
bullshit.
it's a reaction. Like your attack of opportunity, it's a reaction. But its reaction is when it dies. It reaches out and makes an attack. So 13 on the dice plus 14 for a 27 to hit Moz. Moz will take minimum damage 8. 8 points of damage. And then it collapses to the ground. I believe Phelan probably has... That's it, I think.
Yep, that's my 3 actions.
That's your 3 actions. It would have been that creature's turn, but that creature is dead. Therefore, it is Neffy's turn.
Oh. I drop my crossbow and I draw my rapier.
Okay, you draw your rapier. That is an action. However, it does not have attack of opportunity, so it cannot react to the fact that you've done that.
And then I stab at it.
Okie dokie. This creature that you're absolutely convinced is a demi-lich.
Yep.
Yep.
Completely convinced. Yeah. 20. No, that's wrong. 25. I can math.
Okay, remember you're only on a +8 at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
That is a hit.
Okay.
So your rapier again is a striking rapier, so it does 2d6 damage.
Cool. 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay. And you still have
2 actions. I'll stab again.
You still have that. Yep. Go for it.
22.
With a +3, you rolled a 19. Okay. That is a hit. That is a hit.
10 points of damage.
I mean, you're actually taking quite reasonably large chunks out of this creature with your rapier. And yeah, it seems to be going quite well for you. Moz, it is your turn.
He's just gonna have a wee moment and look at the thing and look at Olerin and look at the remainder of the thing and give it like a half-ass kick. And then he's gonna go run straight back into the room. Because that's what foolish orcs do. Because it's Whifflebat time.
If you step to there, just as a note, that would be flanking. And you would have the movement for that, so... yeah. So just one space more to the east, and you're in the right position for flanking. Okay, that's one action.
So he steps in and goes, this is just entirely, frankly, ridiculous, feeling a little bit worn and a little bit bothered by these things. Less by the room, more by these things. And he's just going to step in and just go, nope. And with a nice horizontal high left, low right, or high left, mid right swipe, he's going to take a swing with his halberd. That's a 6, which I do not believe. 6 plus 12, so 18.
That is a miss. Oh no, with flanking, sorry, apologies. They're flat-footed because they were flanking. That is a hit, exactly.
Ooh. 2d10 gives me 7 plus 4 for 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Okay. It's still standing. There's not a lot of this one left.
So I'm prescribed that high left, mid right arc. He's gonna then bring it round and just continue. He's gonna go. He's borrowing it. He's gonna take it from mid right to low left now on the cut.
Mm-hmm.
With a 17 on the dice plus 8, so that should be.
That is indeed a hit. Yeah. Is it plus 8?
It
Be plus,
it would be
be plus 7 because you're still frightened.
I would be plus 13 normally on a first strike. But it's plus 12 because of the frightened.
Yeah.
And it's telling me it's neg 4 from wherever I am.
It should be neg 5. It's not an agile weapon.
Okay, so it's... But I'm normally neg 4 anyway.
No, the hatchet is neg 4.
Starting from 12.
The hatchet is neg 4. The halberd is neg 5.
Ah, it is. Sorry, I am totally looking at the wrong line. I should not start the DM. 7, 14, 14 plus 4 is 18.
And as you come in with your heavy-handed strike, you do indeed cut this thing down. But once again, in the throes of its death, it will reach out its sword and try and hit Neffy.
As it collapses, what is it going to say? Can I just say this entire room is just bullshit? Can we go back?
So, 14 on the dice plus 14 is a critical hit on Neffy. So as it dies, as it drops to its death, $30 points of damage.
Why? That's
What?
And Neffy drops to the floor.
See, this room is entirely bullshit.
Yes.
The creature drops dead.
so does Neffy.
Pretty much taking Neffy with it. That is, however, the end of that fight. So you have been assigned your relevant XP for that. We'll deal with the combat music and the like. Let's put that music back on and let's turn that one off. There we go. There we go. Right. Okay.
So let's bandage your neck.
Everybody quickly goes over. Apart from Invaa,
This one wasn't my fault.
Invaa, who is stoically stood in the doorframe going, nope.
Right. Well, let's start with bandaging Neffy for 9.
Okay.
Thanks.
Which should at least take off the wounded condition.
It does indeed, yeah. So you come back up with 9 hit points and you are no longer wounded. Well, you aren't wounded. Full stop.
Okay. Am I still frightened, or do I have to roll that again?
Oh, you are stuck with this frightened condition now.
That's fine.
While you're in this room, you are frightened. Simple as that.
Invaa, you're making a great looking door but a lousy window. How about we all just back up out of there, because this room is just weird and there is another way to break into that corridor back the way we came.
Are there more of these down the corridor that you went around to muck about with?
Well, there's a whole bunch of sarcophagi down, but yeah.
So yeah.
One other thing that you probably did spot, especially when you turned the corner and headed into that corridor, just as those sarcophagi opened, there's a really, really bright blue glowing light coming from the end of that corridor.
Oh joy, that fills me with wonder.
That's either really, really good or really, really bad.
And I think, for the purpose of simplicity, that is the best place to leave that recording. As as Olerin stares down the corridor at this blue glow just
Neffy wants to go.
down the end. Neffy is just about conscious. So we will see everybody the next time. We're going to go get drinks and all the rest of it, and we're going to come back and we're going to have a little bit of a chat because I have worked out what to talk about. And we will see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.